Ha! £16. What would be the labour on this? Let me know down in the comments. It's a nice snug fit, that's for sure. Oh, bloody hell! This is the ABS sensor here. Yeah! I'll start by taking this caliper off. Two 18mm bolts on the back. Support it with a bit of wire. Right, try and undo this top sway bar, 18mm. Bit of leverage. And then there's a nut on the other side you might need to hold. There's a little flat washer on that side, so don't lose that. Remember, this is under tension. That's going to be fun putting back in again. You surprised us with that gourmet stuff.
God damn, Jimmy. This is some serious gourmet shit.
So this other little lower arm here, that's an 18 as well. There's a nut this side with that same type of washer. That one was tight. That little tip, when you're undoing a nut and bolt and you're finding it's really tight and you're trying to undo the bolt end, there's always going to be more friction, so work on the nut end if you can get to it, and you'll find it usually a lot easier to undo. There's that washer. Let's get this bolt out. So this one here has a little bracket. I like to keep it all together so I know where I am. I'm going to tackle this bottom joint here now. This one has a little Allen key on that side, so I'm going to hold the nut on this side and try and work from this Allen key on that side. The biggest one I've got. Okay, wish me luck. Oh, nice. There's my nuts. There's a washer. There we go, sorted. Put the washer back on so I know where I am, and the nuts. Okay, so this is where we have fun and games. As my dad always used to say, have a little cup of coffee. Now, the hub nut doesn't look too bad. There's a little nile there, which is a tab just to knock out to stop it from undoing in motion. Normally these things are absolutely rusted up, but this looks pretty good. Mainly because I've actually painted this with anti corrosion, underguard paint years ago. Okay, let's tab that out. You see now I've opened it up, and hopefully this will rotate. 32, biggest socket I've got. Right. Now actually here's a good point here. This is my 32 from my Draper set. This is my 32 from my Halford's Professional set. It's a brand in the UK. And this is what they call, I can't remember, the triple square. This one's a double square. So this 32 won't go on there. But the 32, basically with the extra gnarlings going around, is designed to fit that profile. When you're undoing a hub, don't use any extension sockets. You want it to be as close to where you're turning it as possible. And usually you want a hell of a lot of leverage. My little socket's probably not going to give it to me, so I'm just going to use my tyre lever extension. But this one's a 1¼ inch. The other one seemed a bit sloppy, the 32. This is a 30, it's not 30. So I'm going to try this instead. In hindsight, it's actually a 1¼ In hindsight, I should have actually lesson learned, actually kept that top bolt on. So that's something that I'm going to do now, is I'm going to pop in the top bolt. So if I did this again, I'd make sure I'd try and do the hub first. Top nut's back on again just to keep it nice and stable. I've got a really good handy tip, by the way, how to get that nut on. It's quite tricky putting the bolt through because everything's under tension, but we'll get to that in a second. Right, let's jack this bad boy up and see what we can do. Watch your distance because this could slip off. What did Archimedes say? Give me somewhere to stand and I'll move the world. It's just physics, that's all it is. Right, the jack was good, but it kept moving and it wasn't keeping it rigid, so I'm just going to get some more leverage on here. So I've got my socket on, I've got a little tube here, and then I've got another tube here. Now I've got a huge amount of torque. That's what torque is, the ability to move. Effort without effort. Wish me luck. Oh, you bastard, it's moving, that's bloody moving. I think we got movement. I think we got movement, people. Yes. Oh, success, success. Oh. I've reviewed a lot of diagnostic tools on my channel, and quite a few people have asked me if they're not quite as proficient with using these handheld scanners. The menus can go very, very deep, but I've got something for you today, and it is from today's sponsor. It's a company called AutoFix, and I've got this cracking little handheld scanner, and it still allows you to do an awful lot that a lot of these big boys have, but you don't have to worry about any subscription costs. It does all cars in the US from 1996. It does all European cars since 2002. But it also covers all of the Asian cars since 2008. Now, AutoFix has been around in the automotive world for over 10 years, and here it is. It is a lovely, convenient little scanner that you can actually pop and leave in your glove box. So enough talk, let's get it on the little Volkswagen Beetle today, and I'll show you what this thing can do. You'll be surprised. I just love the neat smallness of this, and you'll find that it will only go one way. So you can now start the car if you like, or you can just turn it so that all the lights are on the dashboard. So the beauty of the AutoFix is in the simplicity of the product. You don't have to worry about complicated diagnostic tools. You've got the OBD2, let's start at that at the top there. DTCs are simply a trouble code. It's diagnostic trouble code. That's what the acronym stands for. But don't worry, I'm going to put a fault on this car. I'm going to show you how to clear it. I'll just whip off this cover here and I'll find an engine management light. There's one there. Just going to unplug this sensor here, which is one of the engine sensors. There we go. Okay, so let's see if there's now an engine fault. So here we go, we've got an EPC and an engine management light. So always remember, you need to fix a problem on your car before you start clearing faults with the AutoFix or any diagnostic tool. So I'll plug in the sensor and then we'll clear the light off the dash. Okay, that's the sensor all plugged back in. Let's clear that fault light. So that you can see both the AutoFix screen and the engine management light on the dashboard, I'm going to show you now how you erase a code. So go down to Erase Codes, press Enter. Follow the information on the screen. Clear, reset, emission related diagnostic information. Are you sure? Absolutely. Press Enter. Please turn ignition on and the engine off. That's what it is at the moment. And press any key to continue and watch the lights on the dash. There you go. Emission related diagnostic information has now been cleared, and you can see we've got no more lights on our dashboard. And just to prove that, let me start the car now. There we go. All the lights are off the dash. Here's another one. It even does graphs. Have a look at this. And you can see I'm getting live information there as I put my foot on the throttle. Engine res per minute. If I put my foot on the throttle, you can see it's giving me that live data back. Vehicle speed, 3 kilometers an hour on my drive. So as well as reading and erasing codes, you can see you've got IM readiness, data stream, freeze frame, O2 sensor test, onboard monitoring, test or component, and vehicle information. If I go into IM ready, here it's got a nice color screen, nice comprehensive breakdown of all the statuses, such as your fuel and your air and your oxygen sensors. Setup is the setup of the actual AutoFix. You can change things like your beep and your language and your unit and measure. Change the background as day mode or night mode. Let's go to day mode, make it a bit brighter for the video. You've got a DTC lookup function. Remember, that's your trouble code. So I've just typed in the code P001 and straight away it's recognized it. The fuel volume regulator A control circuit is open. So if you're a hobbyist and enthusiast, you can see the codes. Importantly, you can erase the code, and it does all cars since 1996. But the best thing about this is there's no subscription cost. You can just pop it in your glove box and you've got that reassurance that you've got a way of actually clearing lights off your dash. Thanks so much for today's sponsor, AutoFix. As I said, there's a discount link for you down below. Right, let's get back to that ABS on the Mercedes. There it is. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Right. All right. Let's keep going. Right, taking that top bolt out again. Now, I'm going to pop the nut back on again. But I'm going to put it on backwards because I want the flat edge. I don't want to crumple the tap now. Oh, it's all coming together beautifully. I thought that was going to be a huge amount of effort to get that off. Right, just need to undo this thing now. Right now, watch this. Never taken this off before. Oh, you beauty. There it is. There it is. This is what I'm wanting to replace, this little ring here. So, I can see in there's a fair amount of dirt, debris anyway. and I need to try and somehow get this off. So I think, will this just pull off now, or do I need to undo this last little bolt at the bottom? I'm going to see if I can just undo this last little link arm here, drop link. And lastly, down at the bottom here, this bolt here has a little star configuration. You've got to make sure you get the right socket. I was so lucky. I went through all my toolboxes and I happened to find this, and it fitted perfectly. But you don't want to go and muck up that. And once you've taken that last little bolt out the bottom, now this is all going to come away, and I can get to finally the little reluctor ring. I'm not going to bother taking the bottom bracket off. I could do, but I'm not going to bother. I think I've got enough room here. So this is what I can see. This sort of, it feels like plastic, and it might be from the old sensor that I had to drill out. You can see bits of debris in there. So this is the ABS sensor here, and the bottom of it is just there. I can feel it with my finger, and the distance between, well, the gap that spins in, the reluctor ring to that, is on Mercedes 0.3 of a mil to about 1.5 mil, but there's definitely fragments of something in there. It might have been where I drilled the old sensor out, to be fair. But now I've got to try and get this off, and that's the condition of it. And I bought a nice new Febby one, only about £16. Get yourself a good one. Don't go mucking about getting a cheap magnetic ABS ring. That's the new one. Some of them have like a toothed arrangement, so it sees the highs and the lows, but this works on a magnet and it pushes on. And if you look at the two of them, there's the new and there's the old. So let's hope that this does the job. And if it doesn't do the job, then at least I've done a bit of future maintenance. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the ABS sensor, because I just don't want to pull on this cable, and also in the attempt to try and fix it previously, I'd just filed the surface down thinking that the top of the sensor wasn't close enough to the ring. So I'm going to put a tiny thin piece of plastic in there, but let's get that out of the way. I don't want to get that damaged. And I'll put the little nut back in so I know where that is, the little bolt back in. Right, I'm going to try and take this bottom knuckle off here. It's the last one, and sod's law, I haven't got a Allen key that's big enough. This is the biggest one I got, which is fine on the other side, but it is just that bit too small. I tried using the old trick of having a nut, but it's between the metric sizes, M6 and an M8. However, what I do have is a little dot punch, and it just so happens that's got a little Allen key hex on it. So I'm going to chop the end off, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it will fit this little Allen key down the bottom here. Okay, so basically I've cut just the top of my little dot punch off, and now I've got a little hex Allen key. Let's see if it fits. This is sometimes why I do these videos. You know, people say, oh, it's easy to do, but it's only easy when you get the tools. And that expression, people say, a good workman never blames his tools, it's a load of bollocks, by the way. Because if you haven't got the tools, you can't do the job, but it doesn't mean you can't try and find another way of doing it and use a bit of thought. So anyway, let's see if this fits. Right, there's the Allen key there. Let's see. Oh, it's a little bit sloppy, but it might just do. Right, all I've got to do is find a spanner to hold that, stop it spinning, and we are good. Okay. Right, got a little 11 milli on there. And let's see now if I can work on the other side and undo this bolt. Let's move this round to the top. Oh, I think we're there. Yeah, we're there. Right, just got to push this pin out now, which I'll use my little punch to push through. It's got two purposes. Oh, sometimes I even amaze myself. I love it when a plan comes together. Showing my age now. What show's that from? Right. Ha ha ha! Woo! So I get a real buzz and helping people out, and that's the whole reason I do this channel. And if you want to show your appreciation, and if I've helped you in any way today, I've got a GrooveOn wish list on Amazon. You might want to buy me an air freshener or maybe a set of spanners or something, and it will get sent to me. It's like Christmas comes early for me, and I'll give you a shout out on my next video. Also, I've got a GrooveOn merch shop. Hoodies, different styles of t-shirts, bags, hats, coffee cups, drinking mugs, loads of stuff on there. The link is just below if you want to go buy some merchandise. And lastly, if you want to become a GrooveOn member, there's a member link for you in the description. Look at that little beauty. Yeah, these are definitely bits of filings from the old, when I took the old sensor off. Good. I've got all the room in the world now to play with this, and I can give it a really good clean too. Here it is. And I look at the new one. Yeah, there's definitely a lip there. This one hasn't got it, and I'm hoping this little 16-pound part is what's causing the issues. Right, let's get that away. Give it a clean, put it back on, and then we'll test it. 16 pounds. What would be the labour on this? Let me know down in the comments. If I had a proper workshop, it would be a little bit easier. Done it on my drive. As long as it's not raining, I don't really care. Right, I'm going to give this a nice little clean now. Right, so one of my lovely subscribers goes by the name of Donegal210 Abel. He said to me, he did it on his W211 E-Class, isn't it? And he said, just be careful, because when he put it on, he ended up snapping one of these. Maybe use a little bit of grease. So I've got some grease here, and then of course a little bit of wood just to tap it on, and just be diligent and take your time. So thank you, Donegal. I'm gonna put this on now. First of all, just gonna see what it's like dry. Yeah, it's a nice snug fit, that's for sure. So this is a bit of PTFE. Let's get that on there. Yeah, and I'm gonna actually, do you know what? It's almost as if inside of that, half of that ring's been left behind there. I'm just going to get a bit of sandpaper and just go around the edge of that. That's a bit better. It's taken a bit of that ridge off there. Right, here's the new ring. I will take that little bit of device there. I'm going to pop a little bit of grease. Why not? I'm glad I took that bottom axle off, that's for sure. So the front face of that lip there is kind of dictating if you've got it a nice tight fit. It looks like there's a gap at the back, but actually it won't go all the way to the back there because the front lip is now even all the way round. So I'm happy with that. I'm not going to hit it anymore. I don't want to damage it. And what we've got to do now is put it all back together again. So I must admit, by far, probably the hardest bit so far, believe it or not, the longest bit it's taken me is not taking it off. It was actually getting to this bottom bolt, the last bolt that I took off. Trying to align it and get it back in again is a real ball ache. I found it easier to leave the spline of the axle off, and there's just enough room now to be able to put that back in again, but use sort of thinner rods to get it in through the hole all the way and then wiggle it around, and eventually you get there, but it's not for the faint-hearted, that last bottom bolt. So I'm going to now bend this down and give this a bend. There's just enough room. Oh, just. There's just enough room. And I can bring all the hub back into it now. Right. To stop that from coming out again, I'm just going to put the nut on loosely there. Pull the hub in. Okay. Right, we can get all the other link arms back on again now. Just raising the hub slightly to align that bottom arm because it's on tension. This top one's a bit tricky, so I'm just going to use a little clamp here just to pull this in. Better. Oh, we're through. Oh. I still think the bottom bolt was harder. And lastly, this little bolt here. Done. Two things to do now. Obviously the hub nut, we'll get that on there. Brake caliper back on. And that's it. Gonna put the ABS sensor back on again before I forget. You won't have to do this, but I was trying all sorts of things yesterday, and I filed away just a little bit of the body there to see if I could get the sensor to go further into where the reluctant ring was. But I'm going to build it back up again. I've got a little piece of plastic here, which is about what I took off, and I'm going to then fit that on there like so. So let's drill a little hole. I'm going to do the hub nut now. So, torque on the rear hub, Mercedes SL, is 250 Newton meters. The problem I've got is I do need to have a little extension on this, because otherwise I'm going to end up hitting the side of the car. 250 Newton meters. Let's see what I can do. Oh, bloody hell. Just about got it. Just about got it. And what's nice, what's reassuring is that if you look at the hub nut here, that little nick there is where I opened it up with a screwdriver, and it's now back to the same place. So all intents and purposes, it's back to where it was, so I'm quite happy with that. Use my little punch. This has come in so handy. Not only was it a nice Allen key, but it pushed through where I was trying to line up the arms, because I couldn't get the bolts to align, and now I'm going to use it to lock up my hub nut. As simple as that. Right, let's get the caliper back on. All done, all back on. Bit of a ball ache, to be honest with you, but it's done, and that's why I like doing these videos, to show you that even with the normal sorts of tools you can do it, but choose a nice day. So I got my diagnostic on the phone. It's the A30M by X-Tool, great little device, bi-directional, but it means that I can start the car. As the wheel's off the ground, the differential will kick in, and we'll see if the speed sensor for the rear left now sits at a nice steady speed and doesn't jump about all over the place. Let's do it. All right. So engine started. You can see on the screen now. I'm going to go into system selection, go into chassis, go into electronic stability program. This is a nice thing about these OBD2 Bluetooth setups. This X-Tool A30M, the dongle's in the car, but I can work outside of the car and be next to the point in question. Right, live data. Now it's going to be 0 for all wheels at the moment, and then I'm going to put it in drive and we'll see what happens. Okay, let's put it in drive. Yes! Yes! Oh, it works! It works! It only bloody works. Oh, I'm so happy. Right, I'm going to go in the hot tub and I'm going to have a beer. But you can see that I'm getting a steady speed. So, we're all good. And all that because of this little 16-pound magnetic Reluctor ABS ring. £16 for the part. What would be the labour on that? 200-300 quid? Unbelievable. The thing is, there's every chance now that the other side's going to be near to going as well, but well, I know what to do now, don't I? So yeah, 16 pounds and she's fixed. Right, I'm going to get the wheel on, go for a drive, come back, hot tub and beer. Thanks so much if you took the time to get to the end of this video. It's been a journey, but we got there, and thank you so much for the people that gave me a little bit of encouragement and advice. I did a quick short to ask the question, should I bother doing it or should I go to a garage? I love the fact we all kind of stick together and help each other out. I'll see you on YouTube.